Okay. So this is what I already talked about. Here we are. Um, what I really love to do when we start anything and when we make any of these changes is to think about IFT's mission, vision, and core values and how the change or the program that we put on is embedded in really connecting the community and promoting and advancing the science of food and its application and having a community where we're innovated and connected universally to improve food for everyone. And also embedded in that is our community integrity, passion, progress, and respect and inclusion. Just like to ground ourselves in that. And then also something that happens within our student association is that we have our own mission and vision that go on. And this is really our why behind IFTSA because it explains why we have our opportunities, why they exist. We really want you as students to build skills, come out with confidence, and come out with a close-knit community. And I really think college is the perfect example of that. Of course, you have to have the knowledge of science to compete, but it also builds your communication, your teamwork, your professional presence. And some might think that IFTSA is really small, especially when you're kind of moving and grooving within your own region, but we're actually so much bigger than you might realize. We have a network of students and industry that moves through undergrad to grad school and beyond. And it's a really great opportunity within the regional competitions and the regional events where you can be in person with those who are in your proximity to really be able to meet peers, build your professional presence, and to collaborate with not only your university, but also those that are beyond that university. Now let's get into it. Here are some of the things that are changing when it comes to the IFTSA College Bowl. One of the things that's changing is that in previous before COVID times, we had a rotational host structure where IFTSA chapters within a specific region rotated year over year. So within this, we're moving away from the bid process that happened in the post-COVID and going back to a rotational host structure, but with an opt-out component. And I'll get into that a little bit more in the next couple of slides. We're increasing your funding. So previously we gave $500. Now we're giving $1,000. And then something else that we heard from faculty in the feedback were buzzers. They're like, I need a good buzzer system. So what we'll plan to do is have upgraded buzzer systems that'll be shared regionally. So we will first mail you the buzzer system. And then what we're going to ask is either the next host, which we will also announce, it'll be passed on to them to store after the competition. And then here's Maya. And then from there, or if they're not there or not present, then we IFT can mail or pay for mailing the buzzer system to the next host. So it'll be one buzzer system that's passed around. This really helps with like planning, consistency, which is my favorite word, to make sure that we're all kind of like beating to the same drum together, that we're having kind of consistent experiences across regions as well. The last thing that we really hope to do is build more IFT section and industry involvement. And so by starting early, by knowing the host school earlier on, we IFT staff can really build that bridge for you and help you get connected to who that section leader is this year, what other students are leading within your region this year so that you can start planning those experiences with professionals, with the peers earlier on, rather than like, let's say in February at the 11th hour. I'm going to talk a little bit about what is not changing. And it's not changing. The competition format, you still have those, 20 pages of competition rules. which also changed. But that competition format is not changing. We're still focusing on food science. We're actually trying to update our questions and make them less trivia based, more based in science. And then we've got that spirit of competition and the networking that comes with it. I've heard so many great stories come out of being part of IFT. And Maya, I'm going to call you out for just a moment because I met Maya a couple of years ago at Alabama A&M when she was competing in an IFT College Bowl competition. And so seeing her email pop up again as being involved in the competition at University of Florida really made me so excited. So really that networking piece and just the ability to get to know each other on a personal level in person.
And Maya has a relationship already with our Florida section IFT president this year. So we haven't had a lot of time to talk about it, but the University of Florida is excited to host and build that network. And Maya, thanks for jumping on and taking the initiative to be here. So we're right on the
Of
same page, I
course.
think, Stephanie.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And it was a pleasure meeting you as well, at that event, as well as all the efforts that you have fostered because of that interaction, that first interaction. And you, have always stayed true to your word, in helping students. And I really, really appreciate all you're doing, and I'm excited to be involved. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you. My gosh, so excited. I'm glad we got that on record too. Um, so a little bit about
Yes,
the
yes,
right.
yes.
A little bit about the host model overview from the conversations that I've had so far, a very positive response. However, if something pops up like, hey, our food science building's under construction this next year, or hey, like times are tough, like funding's down, things happen, right? So we have an opt-out process. We're going to be working through the kinks together, where a university would submit a form. The form would go and get approved by IFT staff and our IFTSA board of directors, and then we would hop to the next university. Something that we will have this in the next 3 years, even next 5 years, we're going to start with domestic hosts, simply because we've heard a lot of like visa issues getting out of country, even if it is Canada or Mexico or coming into the country, it has been really challenging for folks. And so for the next 3 years, we're going to have universities that are domestic, and then we will work on hopefully integrating those universities that are international, in the next few years. So you're first in line. So you get, you're first to know, which is kind of fun. And then we will roll out everything at IFT first for everyone else to know. So there's going to be a big grand announcement at our IFTSA student closing ceremony where I know some of you are going to attend and be on that stage. And then we will start communications in September. A couple of the event expectations that we have are that you have the College Bowl competition, you host at least one social event, and you have at least one professional development opportunity. You are not alone in this. We have our VP of Events and Experiences, a student board member. Her name is Stephanie. So when in doubt, just say Steph. She will be guiding you from September until I would say February in creating that event plan. So we'll also have a little bit of a toolkit from best practices from later on, from earlier in the days. I know Joan had a lot of great ideas. So I'm like, I want to add those to the toolkit as well, for ways that you can host a social event, ways that you can reach out to your IFT section to provide a professional development opportunity. You're not in this alone. You've got great faculty, great staff at your university. You have IFT sections and you have us. So please lean on us and ask the questions so that we can support you in the best way. We just find that having the social event and the professional development opportunity gives a more robust College Bowl experience to all that are attending, and really creates like a significant impact. And again, just having that consistency across regions is what our goal is. I'm going to go to the timeline and then I'm going to open it up for any questions. So I talked a little bit about the timeline already. We're beginning this structure. September 1 is the beginning of IFT's fiscal year. Then we will announce all of the schools for the 2026-2027 year at IFT first at our closing ceremony. And then I and myself and Steph, the Stephs, will begin making connections September 1st when we begin our fiscal year. So you will start receiving some communications September 1. All right. This is just an overview of what everything we talked about. But now I'll open the floor up to y'all. If you have any questions, comments, Joan, please let me know if I missed anything from our last conversation too.
I don't think so.
Oh, yes. Yes, Herschel.
I just had questions kind of to start about how to go about the date for the event and the polling process and who's responsible and what window we're looking at for that. If you could provide some information.
Yeah, happy to. So what September 1 is when all of this will kick off. And so what Steph and I will do is connect Maya or connect that student coordinator and yourself to all of the other contacts that we have within your region. We would rely on you to communicate or have a poll based on like what works on your campus for those, we all have Mardi Gras. We've got all these different things happening in the spring semester. So what works on your campus, let's say March and April are probably the two best months to host it for a weekend. And then that can hopefully help eliminate any of the conflicts that come. So again, like that would probably be your first step. Our first step is to send you that contact information, and then your first step is to confirm the date that works for most in the spring semester.
I have a question related to that.
Yes.
So we would get email contacts of our region's participants.
Yes. So we have a chapter health survey, as you all know, and we've asked about College Bowl coordinators, as we know that they're not always that chapter president or affiliated with the College Bowl team. And so we will take those chapter contacts. So it's probably the College Bowl captain from the next year or the previous year that we will connect you with. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome.
So I also have one question. So this year we will have in the College Bowl competition. I had that we will have one social event and a professional development activity. I have been to College Bowl competition twice, and I have attended the social event, but I'm not sure about the professional development activity. What kind of event it is supposed to be?
Yeah. So when I envision a social event, I'm like bowling. Come over and let's have like a group dinner together before first. Let's go ice skating together. Maybe not in Louisiana, but somewhere else. And then when I envision like a professional development event, it's like maybe something that's going to build your skills. So it could be asking someone to be a keynote speaker at your event, like do maybe the morning or afternoon session and and provide a keynote address. It could be asking some of your IFT section leaders to be part of a panel session about career pathways. It could even be an opportunity for all of the students to kind of showcase their research and talk about it with professionals that come to your event. It could be, I mean, this was Ohio State's doing. It could be like a fun chop challenge where you have to, present your product to a team of judges. That's a little intense, but that's Ohio State for you. So those are different ones that come to mind for me. Again, we'll have kind of a toolkit of some suggestions of like what's like the difference between a social event and a professional development event. But I hope that kind of gave you a more of a sense of how to delineate between the two.
So this professional development activity that can be on the day of competition, it doesn't have to be a day before, because usually the social event happens a day before, so it can be incorporated in the competition itself, right?
Correct. So you could have a day of programming, right? So you probably don't want to leave people hanging with the competition itself, because I'm sure there's some nerves playing out. But if you wanted to have like someone from your IFT section come in and say welcome and hello and something like that, you wanted to have the competition, then you wanted to have a career panel, or you wanted to have different companies or even an industry tour happening, that can all happen within that day.
Mm-hmm.
It also kind of depends on how big your region is and how many folks do show up, because the bigger regions typically have a jam-packed day, whereas if you have maybe 3 or 4 folks or teams in the competition, that could go pretty quickly.
Okay. And for industry connection that you already mentioned, if we want to have an industry connection for the competition as we are hosting, will you be able to connect us with somebody in our region, or it's just that it depends upon us?
Yes. So your university might have some really great contacts for industry tours. Or if you're like, Steph, I need to know who's in your database of IFT members who are close to you, I can definitely support that as well.
Okay. I think I'm covered.
That's great. Those are great questions. Thank you.
Okay.
I have another question. If this is stuff that's going to be included when you blast with information, you can just say that. But can you talk a little bit about preparing or selecting a moderator and the judges for the competition, please?
That's also a great question. So a lot of them we have like a database full of folks who have moderated or judged in the past. So we can definitely send that your way, just with the caveat that like people move, people change jobs. So they might not be in your region any longer. We also do a call for volunteers, and it's happening during IFT First this year. So we're hoping that any of the professionals that are like super interested in getting involved are really scanning our QR code and filling out the form so that we can get, some fresh perspectives in the mix. But we will work with you if you're having trouble getting judges and moderators to be part of that programming. We will work with you to try to find some folks that are more local. Typically, people have found success through their IFT section, through just like, you could, I don't know if this is in the rules, but you could use someone from your university that's not associated. There's something along those lines that you could like finagle your way in. But again, like we can definitely support you with getting those judges. I talked about Steph a little bit. Steph will be very much in your support in terms of events, like the event and the experience of your event. And then we'll have a competition chair, or the College Bowl competition chair. They are really going to support the College Bowl piece of it. So making sure that your judges have the resources, the training that they need, that they have the question sets and the scripts in a timely manner, that y'all have what you need in terms of buzzers and rooms and space to be able to host the competition. So Steph will be around until maybe January, February, but once we have everyone who is going to, submit and register and go to a regional college bowl event in February, we will then pass it over to that competition chair. And that competition's chair's name is TBD. We shall see. If you know anyone, let me know.
Real quick follow-up. Is there a guideline for the judges in terms of, educational background or years of experience in industry? I mean, I'm sure we could shake some people down in Florida to be a good judge. I just didn't know there were set guidelines as a criteria we use to kind of need to vet them, or just kind of our best judgment
I mean,
as professionals kind of a deal.
exactly. Our only criteria is that they're professional members of IFT. So that's what we're doing. Actually, Pedro, who went to UF, he said that he was a moderator one year. So
Yeah, we had a rogue group of students that kind of took things on themselves, and it went off. But
yeah, he's like,
so
I've moderated before. I could do it again. I was like,
yeah.
okay.
You can't blame student initiative and going forward. And
I think that's really the spirit of it. I love that there's
absolutely.
students on this call and faculty that are supporting them. This is definitely a student-driven, student-led competition, as are all of our competitions, really. So that is definitely the spirit of me trying to be a guide on the side and support them and make sure y'all are getting the money and, having the consistency of the experience. But really, I think our students really drive these.
It's important to have a good moderator.
It is, because there's some tricky words in there.
Okay, I have two more questions.
Yes, keep going.
For questions, for the College Bowl competition questions, do we also take in part of pulling the questions and setting up for the competition, or it's all about the moderator, judges that they are gonna handle?
Yes. So the question sets are super confidential, top secret, locked in a SharePoint on the IFT portal. So you don't have any responsibility in terms of the questions. That responsibility lies on the competition chair, working with the judges and moderator. You honestly should not even see the questions or know the questions because, again, they're top secret. And
even to ask the regional, I do remember that we always get asked a 25 set of questions to submit it to the IFT for regional competition. So we won't be charged of that also, right?
Oh, yes. We will still ask you to submit questions as your registration for the event. So we still want to have like a good head count on our end of what team's attending. Give us some good new questions. We're actually going to use some new questions for the finals this year. And also who that main contact is. So we would still ask you to register for the event.
Okay, but everything will be managed by you guys, not us. We won't be
We still have to submit questions.
Not only submitting, not requesting for all the.
Oh no, you do not. No, that is still on us. You would point those teams that you've contacted to register, and we'll also have some communications going out to register as well.
The moderator and the judges usually check questions to make sure there's nothing weird that they need to kick out and replace with some other question. But they're the only ones that look at that.
But you will submit, and then all the other teams will submit on their own. They don't need to submit to you.
So another question is about the buzzer. So what's the thing about upgraded buzzer? Is it something different that we use? Because we practice with the same buzzer that we have in the competition. So we want to make sure that we practice with the same one that we are gonna have in the competitions.
Oh my. So the buzzer system, I feel like there's one guy out there doing the same buzzers for everyone. It is what we use for IFT. So I'll send you a link to show you what like the ones that we're going to order for y'all and send to y'all. But it's the same ones that we have used. People have been ordering buzzers on Amazon, or just like there's been just a lot of different buzzers and buzzer systems across
But
the
the system is
regions.
same as before, right?
Yes.
The buzzing system is okay. Okay.
Different question. Again, going back to judges and moderators. Uh, how is their travel going to be arranged? Are we as hosts responsible for that? Or IFT would help us, because let's say they are not local and they have to travel, let's say like, I'm in the North Central region, we are from NDSU. And our regions partners are like UMaine, Nebraska and all that, like, and if we have any of these judges coming from those places, then travel here, such. So how does that work out?
Yes. So good question. That's really all on you and the event planning process. Is we provide $1,000 and you can use that any which way. I will reach out to you in probably February and get your ACH form, your university's ACH form, and your W-9. And then you don't need to submit receipts or anything. We will just reimburse you the $1,000. Know that this is considered an award, so it will be taxed. So we really encourage that your university receives it or your food science club receives it instead of you as an individual. You don't want to be taxed at the end, unless you do. So that is what we will provide you financially. We know, like I've looked at surveys, I know that that's not going to cover everything for the competition. And that's where your skill development really kicks in when it comes to raising funds, asking for some funding, or even like reaching out to folks who may be more local for you to be judges and moderators. Or seeing someone who can have their company support this initiative. It unfortunately is on you, and we will provide you with some resources to be able to ask for that, to be able to build a portfolio of a sponsorship package that you can submit and send to companies to say like, hey, we're raising X amount of money. We'll provide this deliverable if you provide this amount of money, things like that. For the universities who are traveling to you, this is why we're hoping that knowing the location announced earlier will be a benefit to everyone, because in turn, they can go to their universities, they can go to their sections and say, hey, we're going to go to College Bowl this year. It's in North Dakota. That's not, that's a little far from us. We have to stay 2 nights in a hotel. This is the total cost it's going to be. It'd be great to have a little bit of funding to get there, and to really see and to have that be an opportunity for students to, build a little bit of their sales skills, and then also be able to give themselves some time to get there and to make sure that the money's in place. What y'all could do as a host is find some hotel blocks that are a reasonable amount, and you could send them a code for the hotel block. You could, some places in the past have locked rooms on behalf of them. It's really up to you. You don't have to feel like you can spend that $1,000 on accommodating your judges and moderators, but you don't have to.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And for the awards and certificates, we will be given everything like beforehand, and that would be connected, like the person will be connected to you, right?
So Manitoba did a very outstanding job this year, I would say, on the awards, and they even provided some money to the winners. That was on them as well. So if you do want to do a certificate, you're welcome to. And you're welcome to give it to them. And it can be on behalf of your university and your food science club.
Yeah, I think last time when we hosted, we did give the certificates.
That's
So,
such a great touch, and it's also nice to like kind of promote your institution as well.
mm.
Maya, I saw you come off mute.
Yes, thank you so much. I just thought you brought up a bunch of great points for fundraising and for connecting with local individuals who want to be judges or moderators. I'm involved with the board now of Florida IFT board, this they're the section. I would love to share that link that you mentioned, the QR code, or any other resources like you mentioned sorry, it was
It's
the
okay.
proposal form for like in exchange for fundraising. Um, Anything that you have that I can share with the people that I know could be interested would be super helpful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And September 1 is your date.
Okay.
All eyes are on first right now over here. So,
Yeah.
like when it's, you're at the Christmas break
Yeah.
and you're like, we'll do that next year. This is us now. We're like, we'll do that next year.
Yeah, no,
Um,
everyone's focused on the big event. Right.
yes, exactly. But yes, that we have those resources. We also have someone working on like, how do you ask a company? How do you ask
Yeah.
someone for money? Because you like can't just go up, knock on a door and say, hey, we need your money. So um, a student is also developing like kind of the email comms that you could use to reach out to someone, and how you can also use IFT Connect, which is like a member database platform to reach out to folks as well. So personally, I'm like giving it to you, but I'm hoping that this is like a good opportunity for you to start building those skills and reaching out to folks and like really kind of leveraging your network to be able to be successful. And then in the end, it's a great interview response of like, I raised X amount of money. So I am kind of saying, y'all need to figure it out, but I'm doing it from, a good place.
All the
The other
resources are super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Another source that we use at LSU is the student government.
Amazing. These are really awesome questions. Anyone else have any other questions or thoughts, comments? Great. I like to do the long pause. It's like the long teacher pause. Well, I'm so excited to see some of y'all at first. And if you do have any questions between now and September 1, we can either meet in person at first and chat through it, or you can even email me at any time and chat through it. But